Hi, thank you for joining me for another Dear Sam Help Horsemanship Series. So since it's springtime and I'm getting lots of inquiries about horses potentially coming in for training, for rehabilitation, for re-education, for finishing, for all kinds of things, I thought this would be a good time to share a recent story, and you'll probably see some videos coming up in the near future of me working with a young horse that she's 2. I think she just turned 2. And she's already had 3 owners. She came out of a horrendous rescue situation. Severe handling and abuse and trauma are evident. And her current owner has had her for about 6 months of trying to give her time to decompress, gain weight, build a little bit of trust, maybe curiosity about the human. And this is a gal who owns her, who is very competent with horses, uses her horses and her mules in the back country and year round, whether it's pulling sleighs or doing logging or living off the land or so on. So this is not someone who has limited experience, and yet she felt very frustrated because she did not seem to be making progress in building this young mare's trust. And so she brought her here for an assessment just to kind of see where she was at. And it was an interesting first session because there were so many nuances, so many small moments of creating or looking to create a safe experience for this completely distrustful horse. And, you know, the degree in which her distrust was extremely severe. If you lifted a hand wrong, she would flee. If you turned towards her, she would flee. If you leaned towards her, she would flee. Basically, any sort of movement, pressure from anything, anywhere, she was overwhelmed. And I just played around with her loose in the round pen. No whips, no flags, no nothing extra, just my body. And giving her an opportunity to experience what it was like to be, we'll say, in close proximity, but to have options, to have the freedom to search, to try. And you know, this is one of those things where after the gal took her home and she just, you know, kept writing me all these texts and going, I've never seen my horse like yawn and lick and chew and look so soft and stand so quiet and feel so okay and allow her to be, you know, touched, and that she was willing when you led her and not just pulling back and flying sideways. And, you know, there must have been something I was really missing. And you know, this is what kind of comes up, and it's a struggle because many times people will tell me very clearly what they truly believe is, we'll say, wrong or the challenge or the problem with their horse. But the reality is most people are getting distracted by the obvious, dramatic, flamboyant movement or resistance or scary moments that the horse is offering, and very rarely are they recognizing how much value to the horse there is when the horse is still communicating at a subtle level. And every time that horse is kindly and quietly saying, I'm a little concerned, I'm a little unsure, I need a little bit of time, whatever it is that they're coming up with, depending on the scenario, and the human, I'll say, blows through it, whether it's just unaware or whether it's a little bit of the old, come on, you're fine, we've done this before, let's keep going. The human is teaching the horse to be defensive. And the level in which each of these horses, we'll say, can handle the degree of concern varies on their own, you know, confidence in who they are. And so what might, you know, be tolerant to one horse can be mind-blowing and leave a lot of trauma for another horse. And so I bring up this video and I share this story because too many times we are late. Too many times we are not seeing value in recognizing and believing the subtlety because we have been bullied and taught and preached to by other humans that we need to make the horse move, we need to move their feet, we need to have them work harder, and then somehow they will listen to us. I had several calls this week from older gals who had a variety of different breeds of horses, and the horses each were showing concern and I'll say a busyness and agitation and unwilling to stand still, a taking over, tearing away as they were being led, those sort of behaviors. And each of them in different parts of the US had consulted their local trainers and the suggestion was you need to move them around circles, you need to lunge them, you need to work them harder. Well, these gals aren't in a position physically to work with a horse like that and be able to help that horse because of their own, the human's physical abilities or maybe limitations depending on their stamina, their energy, their strength. And so what I want to remind people is there are a lot of professionals who can bully horses into doing things that make the horse seem like it is being compliant and obedient and trained. The reality is, when we as equine professionals are trying to help these horses, we have to prepare them for their owner. We have to prepare them to have the skill set and the confidence and the willingness and the adaptability so that whatever their owner's capabilities are, it can mesh with the horse. And that's something that I think is really missed. And a big part of me allowing or encouraging or supporting people slowing down and allowing the horse time is not to take a lot of time, but it's to allow people to release themselves and their horse from the pressure of we have to get it done, where neither the horse or human are feeling good as the training is evolving. And instead, the goal is, how do we build the skill set in the human and the horse to learn how to communicate with a common language in a way that has value to both participants. So the next time you're feeling bothered or troubled with a resistance in your horse or defensiveness or behavior you don't like, maybe take a step back and start to notice how early, or maybe in previous sessions, how many times your horse maybe came up with, I'll call it, the counter offer, where they seem to have their own ideas. And how often did you take the time to stop, believe the horse, address the horse, help the horse let go of whatever it was they were trying, and follow through until they could address what it was you were asking of them with a softness, with a quietness, and with a willingness. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.